was a life change, and the opportunity that I'm having as CJI, it's because I won ADCC. I think that's a huge part of it.
And did I hear you correctly when you said before this you hadn't done strength and conditioning?
Yeah, I never done any. People that know me, I never done any strength conditioning.
Well, if you were Craig Jones's coach for this matchup coming up with Gabby, what do you think is his route to victory? It is Matheus Diniz, and you're going to be joining the under 80 kilogram division, and you just have a whole lot of accolades to show. For one, 2019 ADCC World Champion. So when we're looking at your record and your current accolades within the Jiu-Jitsu community, what do you feel like you're most proud of?
First, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here. Definitely ADCC 2019 is my biggest, in my career, it's definitely my biggest title, the most proud of tournament and achievement that I have ever had. And obviously other fights that I have, other titles, they all very special in different ways. But for sure, ADCC 2019, it's like my favorite tournament ever that I won, that I been part of it. It was incredible. Very special moment.
And you're currently a professor at Marcelo Garcia's gym, but your roots started in Brazil. So can you tell me about what it was like growing up in Brazil, and perhaps the story about how you got involved in jiu-jitsu?
So growing up in Brazil, it's pretty rough. So most of the Brazilians know that. So I started jiu-jitsu because a guy went to my high school saying he actually a friend of mine now, went to my high school saying he wants to fight me. And then I was pretty troublemaker. And then I was like, oh, what he does in the afternoon? They're like, oh, he does this thing called jiu-jitsu downtown the city. So I was like, all right. So I skipped school. I went there to see what was up. And then was this like kids project. There's a lot of projects in Brazil, like for kids to get out of the streets and be doing some sport. And luckily I went there. The coach knew the guy was a troublemaker as well. He's like, oh, I know why you're here. So you guys not going to fight or anything. You're actually going to start training. I was like, all right. So I came back at that night. And then since then I found in love. My first week of training, I was already competing. It was, and then the rest is history. So me and Marcelo are from the same hometown. It calls Formiga. It means ant, the right translation. It's a pretty small town. And so, and then lately I heard about Marcelo. I was like, oh, who's this guy? They're like, oh, he's literally the greatest of all the time, and he's from here. And then eventually I met him when he went there to visit his family. And then he invited me to come to New York. Since 2011, I've been coming to New York. And then 2013, he invited me to come and stay. And then everything happened. And then now I'm the head instructor on his gym.
I love that story, but was it kind of awkward when you were first training in jiu-jitsu with the guy that you wanted to fight? Or was it just like, all right, I guess we'll be civil now?
It was like, I was like, oh, okay, I guess, like, are we going to train? And then, but he was a blue belt already. I was like a brand new in jiu-jitsu. I was like 13. And then I was like, okay. And then the coach already put me to train. We not end up being training for at least 2 or 3 months. And then eventually we start training. And then we end up being really good friends, actually. So I'm thankful to him that he wants to beat me up. And then I end up coming to the jiu-jitsu and starting and finding love. And it changed my life and my family. So thank you, Glaube. That's his name, for introducing me to jiu-jitsu.
You said his name is Glover?
Glaube.
Oh Glaube. My gosh, yeah. That's such an awesome story that a little bit of conflict is what started your jiu-jitsu career.
Yeah.
So what kind of kid were you growing up? Because I saw that you got into a little bit of trouble as a child. So like, what would the reason be that you got expelled from school?
Oh, I got expelled a lot, yeah. So I ended up at one point had to go to like a farm school. So I had to wake up at like 4:30 in the morning every day because I had to take a bus because the other schools didn't accept me So I had to end up going to like a farm school. Was like an hour away from the town. I grew up in the farm, so we grew up in the farm. Like I used to bull riding and riding horses.
What?
Yes, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it.
I
So
love
every
riding horses, not
oh,
bulls.
they're amazing. I don't like riding bulls anymore, so I like to watch though. But yeah, so I grew up in a farm. I grew up with my grandparents because my mom, she has to move to another town to work. So I grew up in a house with like other three cousins. They're like a brother to me. They were all older cousins, all beating me up. I was the skinner one. And then Brazil, like for those that are from Brazil, like you grow up outside playing soccer in the street, hide and seek in the streets. You always out, especially like because I grew up in a small town, so you always out, always out. I remember first time I played a video game, I was like, "What is this?" It was awful. I was like, "I don't want to play this," and then I was outside. So yeah, so I grew up playing outside with a lot of friends and being expelled of a lot of schools, but in the end, everything worth it. It was good. Now I learned. Now I'm a good guy. So, so, so it's
I can
good.
definitely hear it in your voice. Like I feel like you are probably have just matured so much, but like still the crazy childhood that you had really made up a lot of your personality, which I think is super translatable to your jiu-jitsu game as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's crazy that you were living like more in a farm type of environment, and then you go to New York. So how was the transition to New York?
It was again. So coming for a place that like you have, I wouldn't say nothing. I don't like to like. It's not when life was hard, and then you're like over sun. You're like, oh, I have a opportunity to change my life. So it's easy. It's easy, especially New York. It's not hard to. It's not hard to move to New York, especially having all the support that I had from Marcelo and his wife. Um, so yeah, it was easy. It was easy, easy in some sense. Like it was like my dream, like be able to live for jiu-jitsu, train with Marcelo in the one of the biggest gym in the world. So it was a dream come true. It was my first time being a plane. My first time in a beach was in New York City. I never been a beach in Brazil, even these days now, because where I'm from is like not by the coast. So and it was very expensive to go to the beach. So I never had a chance. Maybe soon I'll go. But I like my town. So every time I go to Brazil, I like to stay in my town, good food with my family. So yeah, it wasn't that hard, especially having all the support that I had. Like coming, have a place to train, support from Marcelo and his wife and everybody here. So I can't complain. Everything was it was hard, but at the same time it was pretty easy because I had all the support and the help from him and his wife. So I can't complain. It was awesome. The English in the beginning was very hard because I never studied in Brazil, but I was like, okay, I gotta learn. So I was pushing myself to try only hanging out with people that only speak English, not try to be involved with a lot of Brazilians besides Marcelo and the people from the gym. So yeah, that was a little bit uh, challenge, but I make it up. So now I'm good. It's good.
Yeah, no, you immersed yourself and you picked up a language. I'm trying to be bilingual with Spanish, but it is super hard when you don't immerse yourself. But your English is super good.
Thank you.
What was it about Marcelo, other than the fact that he was from your hometown and maybe all the accolades that he had, that you were like, I really want to be training under this guy?
Um, yeah, in the beginning, it's like he is the greatest ever. Obviously, that's a huge part of it. Luckily, I had him supporting me and inviting me to be by his side. Also, his personality. Like everybody knows how a good person he is, how positive he is, and same thing goes to his wife. Like they're such a good people. Everybody that know them, I'm not the only one saying that. So how positive they are, how supportive they are. So that made it way way easier, and obviously the jiu-jitsu and everything. So yeah, all those things combined, it made it way way easier to accept like, yes, obviously I want to be with you. Thank you for having me. So it's all that combined made me be with him.
And I saw some awesome footage of Marcelo rolling with Gabby Garcia. And you are obviously taking on some coaching roles at Marcelo Garcia's gym. So, in a theoretical world, if you were Craig Jones's coach for this matchup coming up with Gabby, what do you think is his route to victory?
Uh, it's a tough match. Gabby, she's very physical, very strong, of course, very technical as well. So uh, I don't know. I think Craig has a really good game. He's been fighting a lot of strong people, so I think he's ready for. I think he got to do what he got to do. Like he always, same way he approached to fight. I guess somebody that have a strong top pressure. I think he got to bring that to the match against Gabi. So I think that would be the smartest strategy for him.
And is the last time you had any contact with Craig when you faced off with him in the finals of the 2019 ADCC Championship?
Yeah, I think that was not the last time I have contact with him. I think the last time I had contact with him was the last ADCC 2022. I think we kind of, no. Actually, he had a super fight at the UFC Fight Pass against Lovato, and I had
Okay.
against Nicholas. So yeah, so that was the last time we kind of exchanged some conversation, some talk. So yeah, that was the last time, a few months ago. So nah, pretty recently. So yeah, that was the last time we had like a conversation. So yeah, recently.
And did he just manage to find your number or slide into your Instagram DMs to try to get you involved with CJI?
Um, yeah. So first, like when I saw all that, like in the beginning, I didn't know what would be the same date as ADCC. So obviously, I'm pretty excited for. I was like, oh my God, $1 million. I was like, that's a life changing. So I was pretty much commenting and everything. I was like, oh, I want to be on it. I was obviously showing him interesting. Um, and then eventually he posted about the date. It was the same date as ADCC, and I told him I was like, oh, I'm down for. I'm not gonna be hypocrite to say I'm very thankful of ADCC for everything ADCC done to me and everything ADCC and Mo done for the sport. But is a opportunity that would change my life. Also, ADCC would like change my life, obviously. But $1 million, $1 million, and if I have a chance to grab that and fight for that, uh, I didn't thought twice. I was like, yes, if I can do it, I would be happily doing it. And the first he invited me to do over 88, I was over 80 kilograms. I was like, man, those guys are too big. I just recently fought Nicholas. I was like, I was pretty heavy. I was like, I didn't like the way I was heavy. So I was like, I think I can make 80. I think I can. And then eventually he invited me to the 8 kilograms, and then I accept. And yeah, so it was all like that. It was all, I was like, oh, I want to do it. He's like, okay. So you invited. I was like, all right, beautiful. Now that's what it is.
And I want to go back to something you mentioned with ADCC. How do you feel like your life changed after winning the ADCC 2019 championship?
Oh, it's definitely the biggest tournament in the world. It's 1% of the jiu-jitsu community can even compete at ADCC. So be able to win was, like I said, it was the most special moment in my life, and I'm very thankful for ADCC, to the organization. Like I always being open and saying about it, and I'm being professional. I gave them time to find somebody else. It was not something that like over out of the blue. I'm like, oh, next week's ADCC. I'm like, oh, I'm out. No, I did not do that. I gave them time to find an athlete to get get on my place, and it was a life change. Like opportunities come. Obviously it was a dream come true, win the biggest tournament in the world. So yeah, it was a life change, and the opportunity that I'm having as CJI, it's because I won ADCC. I think that's a huge part of it. So like I always say, and I'm going to repeat again, I'm thankful for the ADCC, for the organization, I'm proud of being part of it. I'm proud of being a champion of that tournament, and I'm thankful for everything they're doing. And it's just business. It's $1 million in the line. If I have a chance to win that, I will do that. And if I have to fight a trials to be in the next ADCC, I totally understand. I will do it. And it's all business. And I hopefully they all understand. I'm not being. I hopefully people don't think I'm being a bad guy because I'm not doing ADC or something like that. It's just something that's gonna change my life, my family's life, and that's what matters to me. So I'm not saying I'm not gonna win, but I'm gonna like every other tournament, I cannot control that, but I can control my preparation and how I'm going to get there. And I think I have a huge chance to win this, and I will do everything to win.
And has anything changed in your style of preparation for CJI, considering the rule set's a little bit different and the rounds that they're doing, and also the alley pit that they have going on? Have you been changing some strategy headed into this tournament?
No, not at all. I feel my style is good for any competition, type of competition. So I haven't been changing. I like it. That's 5 minutes and 1 minute break. That's pretty cool. I think that it's a huge for me, for especially for my style because I like to push, and I like everything about it, the style and everything, the rule set, the the mat area, everything. I like everything. So I'm excited. I'm super excited. It's going to be my first time fighting a rule set like that. But like I said, I think it works really well with my style. I like to push the whole time, and I think I'm I change a lot of things in my training. I'm doing strength conditioning, something that I never done it before. I'm feeling amazing. Thank you, Mark DeSalvo, for the help. I'm changing my nutritionist. I'm feeling everything. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. The weight cutting, I know people concerned about that, but I made it 80. I made 80 kilograms before, so it's nothing. Especially it's a day before. The last time I made it, I not even had to lose water. And this time, I think I'm going to do it because I feel lose a couple pounds of water. It will help. I think I'm going to be there pretty heavy, probably like in the 190s, 195. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. The weight cut is not going to be an issue. I have a lot of good people behind me. I was already on weight for ADCC. I was already 88. I'm like walking around 180, like 86, 85. So yeah, it's not going to be a problem. I'm feeling great. So yeah, I'm excited for this.
And did I hear you correctly when you said before this you hadn't done strength and conditioning?
Yeah, I never done any, people that know me, I never done any strength conditioning, any weight lift. So yeah, I started like a beginning, like mid of last year. So yeah, so I like
What?
it.
Didn't you
Yeah.
say that you were skinny when you were younger, but now you're so big? So how did you get so big?
I guess training, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I like to eat a lot. So yeah. So I guess that's what it was. So yeah, I never lift weight, never done anything. I done once in a while, like go train a little bit. And I'm like, oh God, I'm sick of it. But now, like I'm being pretty consistent at it, and I like it. I like it. I really enjoy, and yeah, I feel helping me a lot on the mat. It made me think like, oh, maybe I should have started before, but everything happens in the right time. So yes, so I'm working now.
And when you would cut to 88 kilograms, how much weight would you be cutting
So like the
normally?
last super fight I had it against at the UFC Fight Pass, I guess I weigh in 227. Again, I was fat. I was reading a lot. Like I can get heavy pretty easy, but like not healthy heavy. Uh, so yeah, so for 88, so he's 195. So I guess like 20, 30 pounds. So I lost 30 pounds to 88. But again, that was like a not a healthy weight. I was
Yeah.
like big and chubby.
Fat and
So
happy. It's a thing, you know?
happy, yes.
Yeah.
But I feel normally my happy weight is 200 to 195. That's 88, 195, 194 is 88 kilograms. So that's my natural weight. But when I'm like eating healthy during the week and enjoy the weekend, so yes, so But now I'm kind of watching what I'm eating a little bit. I'm gonna start like the weight cut like 5 weeks before CJI, so I'm enjoying a little bit. I don't want to get like burned down too close. You know, when you start too soon, you can get burned down or even a little sick. So yes, so yeah, 180, 195. So I don't need to lose a lot, hopefully.
I'm so excited for you. This
Thank
roster
you.
for CJI is getting more and more stacked. So I'm very
Yeah.
curious to know if there's anyone in that under 80 kilogram division that you're particularly excited to get a matchup against.
Um, I I want to fight again. Like excited. I would bitch fight anyone, but not particularly anyone. Just I know it's a match. Whatever, it's one match at a time. So whoever comes, you got to focus on that person, next person, next person. It's a tough bracket. You know, all the guys very well decorated on their style. Everybody, I feel they all. Some of them have a pretty similar style. So yes, I'm excited for whoever. I'm not looking particularly for one or other or whatever. You know, it's $1 million, so it's not going to be an easy fight. It's not going to be an easy fight. So
Yeah, they're definitely going to leave it all out there. When we think back to your performance at the 2019 championships for ADCC, you fought Craig Jones, Josh Hinger, Pedro Marino, and Gabriel Arges. So, is there any matchup that you look back on that you're particularly proud of in that championship run?
uh, all those matches are super tough. You know, Pedro, Gabriel, Josh, and Craig. But you definitely beating Craig in the final was great. You know, was a really tough match. It was like 30-minute match. You know, so yeah, definitely the finals. I was very proud of it. Also, all the matches was proud. Even on 2022, I was pretty sick. Even I fought sick. Even my match with John Carlos, I was proud of it. Even I lost.
What kind of sick were you? Like,
I was actually I was with COVID. I found out after, but I was pretty
oh
sick.
no.
They had to put me in oxygen after my first match, but it is what it is. Um, so yeah, even there, I was proud to be able to fight and push myself. But definitely, the finals with Craig was very special.
And I'm so curious. I went back and watched your match against Gary Tonin, where I think it was a wrist lock. Did
Uh-huh.
did he try to say that he didn't tap to that?
Yes, I guess like he was say it was just I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I guess he said it was just like he was like, but again, that's in the rules. A verbal tap is a tap. But
Yeah.
yeah, but the second
So
time we
was he like ow or like what was it?
yeah, he was like, I guess he say, and I let go, you know. I was like, and then that was it.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That'll be really interesting if you guys ever ran it back. I feel like the division between new wave guys and obviously B team now is so stark.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about the irony of Craig Jones being in the championship with you, John Danaher and Gordon in his corner, and now we're at where we're at today with Craig Jones putting on a whole event and Gordon, you know, doing his thing with ADCC, like just the way that the whole jiu-jitsu world has kind of fallen into a completely different place than it was just a few years ago.
Um, I don't know. I don't have a. Again, I don't follow much about all those things. I try keep to myself, like do my work here with my students, you know, and the people here. I don't get involved with a lot of the jujitsu. I would say
Drama.
drama. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I guess it's part of jiu-jitsu. It's part of life. People get together and people break out. That's cool. They doing his thing. John Denner are doing their thing, and it's pretty much with all. And this is not new, you know. Like back in the day, all the first jiu-jitsu teams start like because it was a breakout, you know. But I guess now people talk about them because they are more popular. But that's how pretty much all the jiu-jitsu teams started, you know, back in the day when Alliance broke it, and then Checkmat, Baraza, and all that. If you go to the history, that's pretty much what happened, you know, and that's happened, you know, people come and go, and always going to be a drama. So as long as make the sport grow, I'm happy about it. Again, I don't get involved about all that drama and all the the talk and all that. I just like to do my work, go there, and pull my jujitsu, show my jujitsu, and keep. I like to be with people that are with me. I focus on them, on my students, on my friends, because I can focus on the other ones. I like to focus on. So yes, as long as make jujitsu grow, I'm happy about it.
I love that for you. It sounds like it's very
Yeah,
good for your peace of mind to just focus on your own jujitsu, focus on your own game. So I'm very
yeah.
proud of you for that.
Thank you.
And now we'll do like a quick rapid fire question. You can name anyone on the CJI roster, or if like a random athlete grappler comes to mind, you can name him as well. But I'll basically just name something, and then the first name that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay. Best leg locker.
Oof. Oh God. I think it's okay. I think a little.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Cummins. He used to train with Gordon John. I think he's incredible. Like I guess he's the one that started doing all that. He's very technical, and I never trained with him, but I heard people that train with him say he's like not just leg locks, but from what I see, I think he's one of the best. He's the best one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen a match with him and Gio Martinez, but I need to like do a deep dive on Eddie Cummings' career as well.
Yeah, Eddie Cummins.
Grappler that you would want on your side for a street fight.
I gotta say only one name.
Yes. Or you can say a few. There's not that many rules here.
A few one, definitely my teammates. I'll say my teammates always my teammates. But no street fight. Do I have to say like ones that in the spotlights and things like that?
In spotlights?
Like a more the ones that are active.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Or
gotta say
anyone on the CJI roster too, you could.
Oh, okay. CJI roster. I'll say Hulk or Vitor Hugo. I like both of my side in the street fight. Yeah.
Oh
Hulk
my
and Vitor
gosh.
Hugo.
I love Victor. Yeah, he was talking to me about you, and he's like, yeah, the weight cut for you is not going to be any issue. Like, he knows
Yeah,
you.
Vitor is an amazing guy. Great guy, great guy. We trained before. He's an amazing person. So yeah, I would have of the CJI roster. I would have picked him and Hulk.
I love that. Who's your favorite for the CJI over 80 kilogram to win it all?
Vitor Hugo.
Nice. I like that. And best closed guard. Best closed guard grappler.
Bass. Oh my God. Best close guard grappler. Marcos Tinoco. I don't know if it's one of my teammates. Oh God, incredible. Roger Gracie too. Xande Ribeiro. Again, for the CGI roster, I don't know. I don't know. I don't watch them many.
No, but I like the answers that you just did. And then finally, best wrestler.
In jiu-jitsu right now, best wrestler. For the CJI, I have to say that wrestler guy. What is his name?
Jason North.
Yes, I gotta say him. He's maybe the best in the world. So
I know,
but
taking down Jordan Burroughs, that is crazy.
that's beating Jordan Bros is crazy. But definitely for CJI, I would say me and Hulk. I would say that.
I love it. Well, we cannot wait to see you showcase your skills. Is there any teammates or any sponsors that you want to give a shout out to? The floor is yours, if so.
Yeah, I would love to first thank you for having me. Obviously, I appreciate that. For my sponsors, VHTS, Earth to Mind, my strength conditioning, Mark DeSalvo, and also my nutritionist, Bruno. He's in Brazil. And plus all my teammates, I appreciate it. They all being here, supporting me, training with me, pushing me. And yes, I'm excited for CJI to be there and give my best and hopefully winning the $1 million.
If you enjoyed that interview, be sure to check out this one. If you want to keep up with all the latest and greatest news that I'm covering, be sure to follow my socials at AlexWendlingX. I'm on Twitter/X. I'm on Instagram, and then of course my YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe here. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the things that I am covering in the future.